Hey guys, Breezy Reef coming at you with an update. This is my 24-gallon Nano Cube, and I am treading very turbulent waters with this video, and could quickly find myself in deep trouble from the tank police. But I just want to state up front and make it completely clear that this is a temporary situation, having this Desjardini Sailfin Tang in this system. And in case you're stumbling across this video on YouTube or new to my channel, I want to let you know I've owned this Tang for about 5 months, but up until about 3 days ago it was living in my 90-gallon reef, and initially did very good in that system, but for quite a while now has been getting picked on by one of the other fish. And as you can see, I mean, he's pretty shredded up. All of his fins are pretty beat up. And as of about a week ago, I mean, this fish was in sad shape, so I actually didn't think he was going to make it too much longer. So about 3 days ago, I caught this fish, and this is my other system. Luckily, I had another place for him, and I know it's a small system for this fish, but it's temporary, and I'm hoping in 2 or 3 weeks he can really recover quite a bit, and then I'm going to take him back to the local fish store where I purchased him. So far so good. I mean, the fish is eating really good in this system. Actually, up close you can see my clown and him are still getting to know each other, but other than that, I mean, he just made a little movement there, but I think he's settled in really nicely. He seems at ease, and up close I can tell that all of his fins are kind of starting to regenerate, which is a really good sign. And I really don't know who the culprit was in my 90-gallon. Initially I thought it was my larger Tamini Tang, but since my last video I've had a couple other subscribers comment that it could be my 6-line wrasse, which the more I think about it, that's really a viable option as the one that could have been causing this damage to this sailfin. My 6-line has always been very aggressive to any smaller fish that I've introduced to that system, but I've never seen any aggression to any of my tangs I've ever owned, or this one. But I never actually saw any of the attacks happen. It was always happening at night. But, you know, for a long time now, I mean, this fish's fins have been in really poor shape. So it's been going on a while, and it just, if anything, was getting worse. So something had to be done. He's in this system. One thing that's really kind of cool, I was just setting up the camera, and I've always kind of had a bubble algae issue in this system. Nothing too out of hand. I keep it in check pretty good, but especially behind the anemone on the back of the Nano Cube there, there's a pretty good patch of bubble algae that always shows up, and every now and then I got to remove it. And I was just setting up the camera and kind of looking in the tank and noticed it's all gone. So I'm pretty positive that this Tang had something to do with it. I've never personally seen a Tang eat bubble algae, but I know they're herbivores, and you know, every fish kind of can acquire a taste for different things. So if he's eating my bubble algae, I'm all for it. Maybe after being in this tank, and if he does well in a couple weeks, you know, maybe there'll be no more bubble algae issue, which would be really cool. So I just wanted to show you guys the Tang in this system and what I got going here to help this fish out, and I really hope he recovers. And then when I return him, I'm going to probably pick up two new fish. I definitely have the room in this tank for one more fish to go with the saddleback clown, and then I might pick up another fish for the 90-gallon. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. And another thing you might have noticed is I removed a pretty good sized piece of live rock that I had in here that was sitting on top of this one, and it was covered in a colony of green star polyps. And if you watch my last update, you would have seen that for some reason or another that whole colony was fading out, dying off, what have you. So I actually got rid of this rock. It was covered in the green star polyps, which most of them were not coming out anymore. and it's pretty nice. It really opened up the tank, at least for the time being, while the Tang's in here. Gives a little more swimming room. And I'm going to actually find another piece of live rock that'll fit on top of this one, and it'll provide me with some new real estate for some new corals, frags. I'm actually kind of excited about it because I can go a new direction. That colony of green star polyps was really nice in here, but it had really gone crazy. It was all up the back of the Nano Cube and had covered this entire rock. And this rock, which was underneath, you can see some of the membrane still left from the GSP. And most of it seems to be dying off. I've peeled some of it off. I'll try to get the rest off. That way, with this new rock I put in there and stuff, if it does decide to come back, it won't just take over my new plans. So that's what's going on there. And that's kind of it for this video. As always, I really appreciate all the support on my channel, everyone, and I'll catch up with you soon.